What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJ Podcast. Episode number 2 be determined. This is the last time I'm going to say this, but everything going forward will be pre-recorded, so I don't know the episode numbers while I'm recording, so I'm not even going to say it no more. So I'm just giving you guys the update because I don't know. In my brain, I need to be transparent with the audience, and it doesn't even matter, so I don't even know I said it. So let's go through the housekeeping first. If you are wanting to support this podcast, please check the links below for all things ABJ, whether it be follow me on social media. I added threads there. I did that, nailed it. Also merchandise, tons of new merchandise out. Brand new t-shirt dropped a couple weeks ago. It's instead of I'm a Paul Heyman guy, it says I'm a fan of ABJ podcast. It's I was gonna do I'm a ABJ guy, but I felt like I wanted to be inclusive, so I felt like instead of doing guy, girl, all that, I just did a fan of. I thought it was better for everybody. So that's the reason we went that route. Huge thank you to my friend Cassie for the idea, and then obviously logos by Hunter for putting it together and making it a nice little new spoof for the podcast and for fun shirts that people can support and wear. Also my links for my guests are below. You've seen him tons of times at the Sanctuary. So make sure you go to YouTube channel, Sanctuary PATV. They're always live there doing great content. And our sponsorship, Suplex Vintage Wrestling. If you guys want to be a sponsor, hit me up. I do have stuff available, ad reads, whatever it may be. If you are a sponsor, you get one episode a week now going forward, as well as clips. So all week long, there's going to be a clip of the podcast always dropping, and your logo will be there, and I will tag you guys, and you'll be in my link tree as well. So there's hopefully exposure, trying to grow my brand. Anything helps out. So without further ado, Suplex Vintage Wrestling. Guys, it has finally happened. A whole full store fully dedicated to vintage wrestling. They said it can never be done, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Suplex Vintage Wrestling is a store curated by wrestling fans for wrestling fans, located on 5th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just one block south in the heart of Queen Village in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Their shop features the largest collection of vintage wrestling under one roof. Their selection includes classic designs featuring your favorite wrestlers from the Golden Age, Attitude Era, Internationals, Indies, and more. And if you're tired of watching premium live events from home, then SVW hosts the best watch party since your friend Kyle's birthday when you were 12. And if shirts and watch parties are not your thing, let's not forget their large selection of figures, replica belts, and trading cards. And from their t-shirts and hats to rare wrestling memorabilia, they have something for any wrestling enthusiast out there. So what are you waiting for? Check them out at suplex.svw on Instagram or at suplex.svw.com and let them satisfy your nostalgia wrestling needs. One of these days, I'm going to nail that. Today is not the day. But without further ado, let me bring in my guest, Andry Paulino. What's going on, bud? a little quick. He's taking a little sippy.
I wasn't expecting that. Hello. Hola. ¿Qué tal?
Don't do that. You'll throw me off. Tell people who you are.
Hello, Andry Paulino. I'm a Dominican professional wrestler. I'm 24 years old, and I have been doing the wrestle thing for about 6 years already.
Wow, that's insane, man. I will say real quick, you all dressed in black in a black chair in the widest bedroom I've ever seen in my life. You are like a black hole with that t-shirt and everything. The only thing I see is you. Everything else is just a void in that. You look like the villain right now from the Spider-Man movie I just watched. The Spot. Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Oh, it's really good. Go check it out. Into the Spider-Verse. Very good movie.
Is that the second one?
Yeah, with Miles Morales.
Oh, okay. I haven't
really,
seen
really
the first one yet.
Oh my God, you have to. It's really, really good.
So myself, my persona, I'm a wrestler.
Yeah, let's dive into that. When did you fall in love with the business of professional wrestling?
With the business of professional wrestling, I can tell you that it was since I was about 4 years old. Like my earliest memory is when I was 4. It was when Kane took off his mask. That's my earliest memory because that's actually a trauma. Like you seen him taking off his mask and being the ugliest thing a kid can see. It gives me nightmares for quite a few months. You can literally ask my mother and she will tell you, yeah, he thought Ken was coming out of the bathroom. Yeah.
Now, the funniest part about that is in Andre's 4-year-old brain, my middle school, high school brain,
Oh my God.
we were expecting what he just said. The most horrifying man. He was a burn victim. He survived a fire. That's the whole story of Kane. And then he took his mask off. And when he took his mask off, his hair came with it, which was weird. And all he had was just black paint on his face. That's it. And then he came out the next day with no mask, and the paint washed off, and he was just a weird looking dude. And that was it. That was Kane.
It was horrible. Like when you put it like that, it's horrible. But like for a 4 years old kid, it's a trauma, man. It's really
I had a friend growing up, man, that was absolutely terrified of the Undertaker. The Undertaker gave him nightmares. He did not like the Undertaker at all.
That's even crazier. Like I have always seen like the Undertaker as the cool one.
Yeah.
Because
so when Taker got put in the casket by Yokozuna, and the whole locker room came out and beat him up and threw him in the casket, and then they had the camera and his eyes opened, ruined my friend. He ran upstairs. It was it was the worst. And I'm laughing because I grew up with a horror movie kid, so that didn't bother me. But yeah, I think you're the second guest that said Kane as an early memory of wrestling, which is awesome. It might be the third actually. And that's why I asked that question, because I think it's fun to like age the guest of when they fell in love with it. As a wrestling fan, I could be like, oh, like, wow, yeah, that was what got you into it. Like, and then I can kind of be like, I'm old. But yeah, so Kane transitioning, that's amazing. Now, wrestling your whole life, you're into all that. Who were you as a kid growing up? Were you an athletic kid? Were you like a theater kid? Like, where did you fall in with your group of friends, or the type of kid that you would have been if we would have met you in school growing up?
It's a little bit complicated. I can say. I think that I'm part of the category of he likes anime and rock music. Like that was me like growing up as a kid. But it's weird because in my country, like not many people were like that. Like those things were not. Yeah, like in Dominican Republic, like growing up with the rock and being I like anime and stuff like that was really tough in some way because it's not normal. There isn't like such a thing as an anime or like rock culture in Dominican Republic as
who got you into the rock music and anime culture?
Into the anime culture was my elder brother, and into the rock it was my dad, who has always been like a very fan of those early 80s bands like the Chicagos, the what is the other one? The one that Chicago, the one that the song the Dust in the Wind.
Dust in the Wind, Genesis? No, Genesis wasn't Dust in the Wind. I'm having a brain fart myself. I actually seen Chicago live.
Me too.
Yeah, I seen Chicago live. I went to go see a Notre Dame game. We drove all the way out to Indiana to see Notre Dame, and one of the members of Chicago, or one of their touring managers or something, is a Notre Dame alumni. So Chicago came and played with the Notre Dame marching band and did a whole concert. It was the sickest thing, and I didn't know that. It was the sickest thing ever.
Really sick.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool.
It's funny. My dad just called me one day and he told me like, hey, Andry, I had this crazy dream that you were buying me the tickets to see Chicago. I was like, right, you were having the crazy dream.
Yeah,
just for me to pay him for
that was a hint for you to buy tickets to see Chicago.
Pretty much. Because
yeah.
It's not a common thing to see like live rock bands in Dominican Republic. It's not like a popular genre or anything like that. It's like most of a thing of a niche, if you can even say it.
Yeah. The only thing is, leave your mic right where it is. Don't play with it no more. It's really loud when you touch it. All right. Yeah, don't do that. It's really, really loud. People in their car are like screaming, like, "What is that happening right now?"
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
I have like no experience doing this. I'm actually like still a little bit nervous.
So if you look, I tried to keep my hands below the screen because I'm Italian and I talk with my hands a lot. So I actually have stress balls. I can't show you what's on the other side of this because it's inappropriate, but I play with the stress ball. It's actually there's a nipple on the other side. It's a boob. It's a boob stress ball. I don't want to get demonetized for showing it, but I have to play with a fidget spinner or something in my hands below this camera because I don't want to do going all over the place. Uh, a little behind the scenes action there, but I get you. You have to be fidgeting with stuff. Yeah. So when did you like? Now you said you lived in Dominican Republic. When did you find your way to the States, and how did you land in Hazleton?
Um, it's weird. Like my mom, like she married my stepdad, and then when I was like 16, I got like the whole documentation to actually move to the United States. So we took the chance, right? We took the opportunity, and we moved here like about 7 to 8 years ago. And that's pretty much it. That's how I got into this country, and then like the whole adaptation into the new culture, which I'm still adapting. That like there's still like so many things that I don't understand at all. I can say it, like how is the behavior in here is way different to how it is in my culture. Oh, I don't know how to feel about the fact that I live in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, which right now the population of Hispanic, like Dominicans, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans, like is a very huge one.
Mm-hmm.
But I live in the side of the town that is all white.
Okay.
so
Yeah. So
so
that's tough.
a little bit, a little bit. I don't mind because it's more quiet than the other side of the town, but it's still.
Yeah. How old were you when you made the transition?
I was 16.
Okay. So like the height of your like I want to explore and figure myself out as a human, you got a culture shock and went to a different country.
Yeah,
Oh
pretty
man.
much. Very much.
Now
So
were you always bilingual growing up, or was being bilingual something that you learned when you came to the States?
I that's something that came out when I moved to the States. Like before I moved, I had like barely experience like speaking the language. I will like listen to it because I like rock. But outside of that, I had no clue
Yeah.
or how. And like
Now
till this
did
day,
your school teach you in Spanish, and then were you like no, it's you have to learn English and then also like learn your schoolwork and learn a second language?
so in my school, like it was all English. Like it was all English. I will have like my ESL class that okay, you gotta like learn the English, but that was about it. So I have literally to be like studying the English when I was in school and outside so I can like understand what was going on.
That's nuts, man. Like imagine I can't imagine being dropped at 16 years old into another country where I don't know the language and then also still have the expectations to be like if you don't pass your classes, you don't graduate and then you can't enter society cuz like that's mind-boggling. That's 16 years old. You're already set. Like I'm not you're not set, but that's not an easy thing, man. That's awesome that you were able to pull that off.
Yeah, I'm still surprised actually, and I did great. I did great in high school. I can actually say that high school in here was easier than in my country. If I tell you that, okay, so in one semester here, I will have like four classes. I will have art, math, English, and physical education or biology, depends. And in the art, I used to have like 21 for one semester.
Wow.
So like the education here, I found it like that since you have like less classes, you can like focus in like you can actually focus more into it instead of hey, we have all these things that you somehow have to memorize or get into your brain, and that's
Yeah.
how we think is a good education for you. And like no, this is insane. I'm going crazy with this.
Yeah. Is Dominican school like America where they break it up like science, math, world history? Like, is it the same there or is it completely different?
Is quite a little bit different. Like we tell stories on a different way. I can say like the perspective that we have of this country that is a little bit different of how you guys present yourself, which is like totally normal, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there, like you will focus in of course biology, math, whatever is your language, and yeah, that's about it. Like that, those are like the three that we focus more. Like no, actually, history, biology, your language and math. Like those are the main four, of course. But there's like a bunch of things that you're like surrounded by that you have to actually learn in the art.
That's interesting.
Me,
That's interesting.
yeah,
I,
yes.
I I was learning a lot about Dominican history while I was working at my one job in Hazleton because, like you said, a very large community of Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Mexican. So I was like, I have a question. Like, and I would research the country, be like, yo, you guys had like a civil war as well, and like it used to be all one country, and then Haiti and Dominican Republic kind of divided, and then like the history of that, like that's stuff we don't know about because all we're taught here is American history, and if it doesn't
Yeah,
happen in America, we don't give a shit.
exactly.
And everything is like, here's a war, we came in,
And
won
we
that
won.
shit.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
what about Vietnam? You know what? Anyway, so then the next thing we won, like they kind of skip over
Yeah.
stuff.
What about that time that the United States interfere with political and social issues in my country, and we have to kick you out like 3 times? You don't teach that in school,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. They're like, we're just gonna go to Puerto Rico. You want to be part of us?
I don't
See, touchy subject. DR doesn't
know.
want us, so we're going to Puerto Rico. They're like, well, you're part of us, but you're not part of us. Like, we
That's
want to be able
horrible.
to vacation here, but we're
Uh,
not giving you a star on the
that's
flag.
horrible. That's so horrible.
They're like, we already kind of made the flag. It looks cool. If we add the extra star, it's gonna look
Bro.
all weird. um, so when did you transition at now here's a quick question. Moving here at 16 years old, being involved in anime and rock music and professional wrestling, was moving to the States like, this is amazing, it's way more readily accessible?
It was great on that aspect. Actually, I love that. I love that. Like when I went to Walmart and I saw that there are CDs of the bands that I like, man, that was mind blowing. I went insane. I went insane. Like I don't know if you like the band AFI, A Fire
Yeah.
Inside. I love that band, and when I went to like a Walmart and I saw that they have like the Sing the Sorrow and December Underground, I was like, "There's no way!" Like I was actually so happy, and to see that like they saw like mangas and you have like such an access way to get to watch like the animes in Latin America. Like most of everybody just watch anime like illegally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
pretty,
bootleg it
pretty
because that's the only way you can watch it. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's like, okay, there may be like a few channels of distribution, but then they will be literally like taken down because they are not well seen in
Yeah,
my country in that way.
I could definitely see that. You guys are very religious in Dominican Republic, and if there's anything that could be like deemed evil, they're not about
Yeah,
it. Uh,
exactly,
it's funny
exactly.
because when I would work with Dominican and Puerto Rican and Mexican like culture, I was also into the rock music, and I also really enjoy the occult stuff. I don't believe in
Oh,
any of it, but I think the occult aspect is cool. Like I have the 666 devil tattoo.
yeah.
So I didn't always have that tattoo, but that I like that aesthetic, and I always got called Blanco el Diablo, which is the white devil. Which is, I loved it. It was my favorite nickname ever. That's why I like the devil stuff, because everyone's like, "You're like the devil, man. That's not good. That's not good." But then like I would learn about different paranormal stuff that would happen in other countries. I just enjoy learning about other people's culture. So it's really cool. And I didn't know that about you, like growing up and your transitions and stuff. But when did you decide, okay, I'm gonna enter the world of professional wrestling, and how did that come about? How did you find your home of the sanctuary?
Okay. So,
Bring the mic a little closer to you, get a little quiet.
hello, hello. Better?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, so after I was done with high school and I learned more of the language, of course, I went to college. I took that decision. Oh boy, it was tough. But I have this one particular class that it was a speech that actually helped me out to get my confidence to actually publicly speak. Like if you talk to me a couple of years before, I wouldn't be able to communicate at all with you. So I took my speech class, and the first presentation that I did was based on lucha libre Like yes, I did like a whole exposition about the Mexican wrestling and the culture because they perceive wrestling in a different way that they do here in the States.
Hmm.
And my teacher, she was like fascinated about it. She told me like, oh my god, I could not believe that you keep me like entertained talking about professional wrestling for 16 minutes. So she told me that her son was a trainer in a particular church in Hazleton,
Okay.
and that was John Trotsky's mother.
Oh
And
wow! I
yeah,
actually did not know Trotsky's mom was a teacher, so I'm learning
ye-
something here.
yes, yes. And she told me
Just real
she,
quick, back it up just a hair, just a little bit. It
hello.
just it's catching your breath more than you, but you're good. You're good. We're good.
Oh my God, that
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
so annoying. No,
No,
I'm
we're
sorry.
fine tuning it. We're fine tuning it. We're good.
I'm I'm sorry for all the listeners that hear me just breathe.
Andre's
Okay.
insanely nervous, so I'm trying to coach him through. But you're doing amazing. You're doing really really good.
Okay. So her mother John's mother told me that okay, you can go to this place, and since you like it that much, you can give it a try. So I went to Sanctuary as a fan, and I fell in love with it very much, especially since I saw that there was a Dominican being their champ.
Yeah.
That was Marcy Cabrera, by the way, one of the best wrestlers I have ever shared the ring with, and one of the most underrated workers in PA. So he told me, "Hey, buddy, if you can train here with us, yada yada." And I said, "Let me think about it." And I thought about it for like 8 months. Yes, it wasn't like, "Oh yeah, I wanna get in the ring and do all this stuff." No, no, it took me
Now,
time.
what was your hesitation going in there and saying like what took you the 8 months? What were some of your reservations about doing it? Was it the physicality of it, or was it maybe not being comfortable with the language or stuff like that, or the theater aspect of it?
It was mostly that I was more focusing on college at that time, and
Okay.
then through the summer, I was told by my brother and my girlfriend at the time that hey, maybe you should give it a try since you like it that much, and so I did. And since day one, I basically show up a well, how can I say this? That I have talent.
Yeah.
Yes, since day one. Oh man, that should sound so arrogant from myself, but yes, I catch up with all the bombs like super quickly. First day, I had like no athletic backgrounds. I didn't did any sport in my country, no sports here, and I was already doing like flip bumps and all that kind of stuff with just one try, pretty much.
It's kind of like that Jorge Guapo kid.
Yeah, no, he's not there. Um,
The difference with him though is he grew up as a mat wrestler, so he was able to take a little bit of that. But you're coming in completely cold of just a fan of the business and doing. Now, did you wrestle around with family members growing up? Like, did you wrestle that in that aspect?
no,
No. So you
no,
actually took the "don't try this at home" seriously. Look at you.
crazy, right?
I
Crazy.
was a kid. They're like elbow drop. I'm jumping off that dresser.
No, no, but Jorge is okay. So now outside of me just talking trash about Jorge, no, Jorge is phenomenal for being like 3 months in. He catch up super quickly, and I'm very happy he's like actually part of the sanctuary since he's somebody that has like love and passion for the whole project, for the whole
Mhm.
place, and for everything we do. And not only that is what he actually do for the Hazleton community, which is one of the aspects that I appreciate like more about him, like the fact that he actually like wants to help the town and wants to help sanctuary in general. I feel that he can easily be a new Hazleton hero in some way. Not
He
yet,
it's
not
almost
yet,
like
but
Marcy came in and filled those shoes. Then you kind of came in and filled those shoes, and now you have a third generation of of the Spanish culture coming into the sanctuary. That representation is there, bringing new eyes to the product and new eyes to the business. And you three are kind of been the catalyst for that for quite some time.
yes, pretty much, and I'm actually very happy that he is actually taking a couple aspects that neither me or Marcy were able to fulfill in some way, because he's actually like more open about working with the town, like one to one, and that's
Yeah.
something that neither me or Marcy ever did.
Yeah.
So yes, I decided to go to the sanctuary and I start my wrestling education there. And I can say that I am a very lucky person on that aspect, because Trotsky never ever like charged me $1. He told me, I know you're a good kid and you have like a lot of passion for this, so I will just like take you under my wing. And so he did. Billy Walker and Colby Corino, that's a few things, like that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know, like Colby was like training over there for like a whole year.
Hmm.
And people barely show up, barely show up.
You had an
And
offer like that's insane. Is Colby is established. His family is established in this business. They know what the hell they're doing. His aunt, his dad, the whole nine. And this kid is in here helping people develop, and no one's taking him up on it except
nope.
you and a handful of students at that point in time. It was what essentially you, Schultz, or is this
it,
even
it,
before Schultz even walked in the door?
Man, like it was even before Schultz even showing up. So at
Wow.
that time it was me, Colby, Billy Walker, and Trotsky.
Wow.
That's it. That was like my. It was insane. Like I got so much knowledge from those three individuals that it's insane. And I dislike a lot the fact that people like don't give actually the recognition that they deserve as trainers and as people that have like so many different views of how you should train and how you should learn and how you should see professional wrestling. I don't know, since sometimes pro wrestling seems that is like a college backyard, they rather just focus on trashing and taking credit from the people that actually are trying to help. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm very very happy. And if any of you, either Trotsky, Colby, or Billy, have the chance to watch this podcast, thank you so much. You guys deserve all the good things in the world. Keep going.
Yeah, no, that is a laundry list of very very talented people to help you. You have Trotsky, who has the business mind state, the safety mind state, has the, I have the mat wrestling background, and I can teach you how to do it because he's been there, he's been to the dance. Colby, who comes from a long line of family that we talked about, and but he has that new school style, and then Billy Walker will just tell you how to kill a man. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
no, no.
He's going to
It- it-
stretch you. He's going to teach you how to. And here's the thing, too, is one of the things that you do very well is, even though you're not the biggest wrestler, you don't have the size to you, but when you get in the ring, you have that mean streak to you. And I think that's where your Billy Walker comes in, where like, no matter how big your opponent is, you can kick their face off. You can stretch them out, but also you sell very well. Like if someone hits you with something, it looks like you're dead. And that's one of the things that Billy Walker teaches you is the
yes.
best way to learn how to sell is by getting it done to you.
Oh my God. And not only that, so at least when we were training, he will sometimes give me like a grade of how my sale is actually going. There is like a scale from 1 to 10,
Yeah.
and a 7 was already like overselling. If you hit a 7, you are like, okay, you gotta stop yelling and moaning. Like, okay.
we're not making adult film here. We're wrestling.
Exactly. And not only that, he will always tell you like sell with your face. A lot of people will be like, it
Uh-huh.
hurts. Like, please show some emotion. And that's another aspect, like how you can like show your emotion. I will always be very happy with a lot of my matches and just walk around who's like the people in the audience, and you see how sometimes they are like really sad by watching me and how touched they actually feel. I have seen people crying
When you turned
from
heel,
what.
that was a big deal.
Oh my god, oh my
Did you
god.
pick the song Psycho Killer?
No. it was Trusky. That's all Trusky.
Great pick. That's a great song.
That,
I love
that's
that song.
Trusky. And I didn't like the idea at the beginning.
Yeah.
I no, because
Well,
I
first
like
I liked when it was the but it
Buttercup.
was slowed down really slow.
Oh my!
That was really cool. That was a good bit, like where they took your old happy song and then just slowed it down.
No, that was me. Like
that was you?
Idea, right? Yeah, that idea right.
I love that. That was really good.
I was like, people are ready. Like they love my song and they will clap and everything. But like, why, like, why don't I take that away from them?
And then the Psycho Killer was like your reemergence, which I like.
Yes, very much. Now it's like, okay, that's the song it's already on. I show up, let's fight. Like let's put on a great show and let's kill it. I like to think that's Trotsky's idea behind the whole Psycho Killer thing. It's like, okay, you are not Andry, the clapping Dominican kid. It's now, boy, you gotta go. You gotta.
But Psycho Killer is a song you can still clap to. Like it's upbeat and it's good, but it's also its message is there's a Psycho Killer coming. So he might smile and you might dance, but he's gonna kill you when he gets in that ring. And I like that about you. It gives you that edge.
Oh my! And that got me by surprise. But like hearing people clapping to that song, I was not expecting that at all. And I think that's just like the love from the people of Hazleton.
First time it hit, I was like, good pick for a song. Like I popped on commentary. I was like, Psycho Killer. Like once again too. One of my favorite bumps to this day that's ever happened in the Sanctuary is you. And I'm so happy I caught it on commentary because no one knew it was said. And it was the only time ever that I stayed after a show and watched it in the office with everybody, which, by the way, was the scariest thing I've ever done at the Sanctuary. You know how intimidating it was to hear my voice calling the match and all of you sitting in the room?
No,
that was terrifying.
I cannot imagine.
I hated it. I did. If you notice, I was playing on my phone because I did not want to pay attention. I hate it. Yeah. So you were wrestling Tyrant, and you were thrown across the ring, and for some reason you wore white shorts that have pockets in them.
Oh my god!
And you were thrown so hard, your pockets came out. And I just remember being on commentary like, he was thrown out of his pockets. Like, and I remember someone saying like they were watching and like, yo, your pockets came out. And then as soon as they said it in the room is when I called it on commentary. And everyone was like, Blackwell, good call. And I was just like, yes. Like they're my small. Yeah. If someone's saying something in the room and then the second later I'm saying on the commentary, that knows I'm on pace with what should be getting said. And that night was very nerve-wracking, but also like I was right on par with what was being said in the room. Like they would say something, I'll call attention to it, and the way I would sell it on commentary or Brian would sell it on commentary, everybody popped for it. And I was like, yes, like it was terrifying, but it was a huge confidence boost for me.
It was such a great moment. Like sometimes I like to rewatch my matches mostly to see how can I improve. That's something that I do like a lot. I rewatch my matches and I just focus on what the hell am I doing wrong.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, by the way, that I was like thought like I shouldn't listen to commentary at all, and I should just focus on the body movement. But your work is basically your commentary is the only one that I actually listen to.
Yeah.
Nobody else's.
I appreciate that.
Else's. Everybody else is silent, but like with you, I laugh a lot. I have like I'm serious. Like I am having like the time of my life listening to your commentary.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't want to say this because like we know each other and everything, but it's like at least I'm watching wrestling with a friend. That's how I perceive like your commentary. It's like
that's why we tried to bring the live aspect to it, where we interact with the chat and stuff, because I feel like it's different.
That's even better.
And I'm proud that we were able to do that at the Sanctuary, and Trotsky gave me the wherewithal to do it and gave me the okay to do it, because like when I came in and I seen the Sanctuary, I treated it as professional wrestling, and I thought calling it stunt fighting was just a gimmick, but
no.
The more you're there, you bleed that. Like you're proud to be a stunt fighter. You're proud to be part of a stunt production. It's different. It's hard to explain to someone who is so used to having it be professional wrestling, and going back and watching previous stuff at the Sanctuary and hearing the commentary and how it was done like professional wrestling for such a long time. And then how I was doing commentary, but then I had Trotsky up next to me heckling to you guys in the ring. And also, like, I was like, all right, well, how can I make it that, because the bit of the Sanctuary, so people who aren't aware of this, it kind of changed when we came in, and I kind of wanted to go back, but the whole premise of the Sanctuary, it's a show within a show, but we don't do a lot of the skits anymore that showcase that. What you guys see is just the stunt fighting, but there used to be a lot of bits and segments that would be thrown into the show, that it would be like, oh, there's a bit backstage leads into the match, and the people at the Sanctuary would then see those bits. I'm hoping that can come back in the future, because I thought they were really fun.
I wish.
Yes. But the commentary, the way it was sold to me when Trotsky first came, is he goes, I want you to be commentary, but I want you to be in on the bit. I want you to be in on the story. I want you to be the old guys in the balcony of the Muppet Show calling a show. And don't treat it like professional wrestling. So if you want to go off the rails and be funny or tell a story or anything like that, do it. And it made me better, and it made me stand out. And then when I would go do commentary other places and I would bring that aspect to it, but still keep it in the confines of professional wrestling, I stood out to everybody, and I credit all of that to the Sanctuary.
And that's something that like more people should like actually understand about like the Sanctuary. I will always say, if there is something that you actually want to try about your character, yourself, if there is, oh, I maybe want to wrestle in this different way, or maybe I should try to do like this catch line or something, the Sanctuary is the perfect place for that. Is the perfect place for that, because we basically give you all freedom of do whatever you want, as long as you are not actually trying to hurt somebody or trying to hurt yourself. If you want to play around, do shenanigans, go do it. It's like the Jay Messiah's tag match against Vince and Crispy, that they just took like two chairs when the ropes broke. They just put it like on each corner, and they were just sitting there like, okay, now you give me the tag. Like,
and when they first came out, they didn't tell Trotsky, and Trotsky thought they were bringing chairs, and he was furious. And they're like, just wait. Like, and
let
that's
them
beautiful.
Hold on.
Exactly.
Let them cook.
But it's not just from a wrestling or a stunt fighting standpoint. If you're a photographer and you're like, I don't know if I'm good at this, come try. Come get better. Like, there's if you want to be in production, if you want to be a ring announcer, if you want to be a referee, if there's anything in this business that you want to try, or you want to learn marketing, and if you just want to learn how to promote, if anything, come to the Sanctuary, because there's a lot of people who have come here, who have learned, who have honed their craft, and then have left and done better elsewhere. You know what I mean? And that's what Trotsky wants. He wants people to use this as a catalyst to go and do other things. And that's the Sanctuary is good in all those aspects. You want to be a good booker, you want to be a promoter, you want to be a ring announcer, anything, a wrestler, come learn it here safely and then take it out. And that's a beautiful thing about it.
Yes, it's pretty much it. Like that's what Sanctuary like is about, pretty much. Like that's the main idea of the whole place. It's like, come and do your art. I think that's actually like part of the logo of the Sanctuary. Like, just come, like, do your art.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite matches of the Sanctuary? Ones that really stick out to you?
One that oh man. So there is this match. It was a live show, and it was the match between Kid Ruff and Marcy Cabrera. I will never forget that match, because it was like my first time interacting directly with a wrestler. Like, I will be the one lousy fan that will be dying for his hero Marcy, and I will be just like yelling things at Kid Ruff, and he will be like telling things back to me. I cannot say exactly what kind of F things he said. Oh, I'm sorry.
You can curse.
So we were going like back and forward. And there is this moment when I'm just like, you suck, and then he get my mom into the conversation, and then I gotta answer back, like, as a fan who speaks Spanish, just cursing at him, and it was one of the best moments of my life. Like, as a fan, I just loved it. I just loved it.
You know, it just warms my heart. I just asked you a question. of what's your favorite memories and moments and matches at the Sanctuary, and you didn't even pick your own.
Nope.
I love that
Oh,
about you. That is
no.
the most wholesome shit of all time. Now I want you to be a selfish. What are some of your favorite interactions or matches at the Sanctuary that matches you were involved in?
That I was
I love that.
involved
You're
with.
such a sweetheart, kid.
So matches that involve me that I think anybody can watch them and say, oh man, this is good. My first and second match with Marcy,
Mhm.
my singles match with Colby. In case people don't know that, yes, like by 7 months into pro wrestling, I had a match with Colby, and it was a banger. Um,
I would
my
love for
match.
Colby to come back one night, like our first Friday, and just shock everybody. Oh,
Let's see, let's see. Um, so my match with Savage, the last, I mean, this championship match that I had with him, championship match with Ahmed, it's crazy how good of a match I put with Prince Ahmed. I love him to death, like as a rival, and he will be like the one of the persons that I pick that I'm like, if I can have a match with a person each week, it will be him. It will be him, and he's so creative, and he's always somebody that helped me to like. He helps me a lot to push my like. He helped me to get better a lot always, and he's so creative. And just when I'm like doing work with him, he will always be like, okay, why you don't try this? And then I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. And then he will pick up his crazy moves that I cannot even describe them, there's no way. And he will be like, can I do this to you? And I'm like, yes, of course, why you don't? Yeah, like he will pick my leg, put it behind my head, and just twist it.
the pretzel stretch, yeah.
Oh my God! When he pitched that idea to me, he just went like, Andry. I'm like, yeah. Are you flexible?
There's
So
been three people since being at the Sanctuary that have been, I would say, outsiders, right? They're and Ahmed's one of them with PJ Savage, and the newest one is Rocket, where they
Rocket,
come in and they want to help everybody else in there, and they make everyone else better, like they
better,
elevate the
better.
Sanctuary.
I was right about to bring that match. My match with Rocket. Um, it was one of the easiest match that I ever had.
You're
And
welcome.
if you, I know what you did. I know what
I
you did.
walked
Thank
I
you.
walked in,
Thank
I
you.
go,
Thank you.
that turns to Andre now. And he's like, why? I'm like,
Thank
because
you.
you have no idea who Rocket is, and Rocket should be wrestling Andre his first time here.
Like man, what a great match. And that match, like not only the wrestling aspect of it, but if you watch the cinematography, how this match was filmed, it is insane. It's one
Mm-hmm.
of the most beautiful matches that I had seen. Like forget about the flips, forget about the Spanish fly, forget about the super kick to the top rope. No. Just look at the camera. Just pay attention to what the cameraman is doing. It's art. Like that's cinema. That's cinema. That's all I can say. That's it. It's cinema.
I totally agree with that. So while we're talking, we're not live currently, but we are kind of live. So if this is where I'm
What
going
do
to
you
put
mean?
my plug out there, if you are a member of my Discord, I have been streaming the podcast live in the Discord for my Discord users. So this may air a couple weeks, a month from now, but if you remember my Discord, you're able to watch it. So I have one more question I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to encourage my Discord right now to start putting questions in the live chat that I can ask. And then also we have a thread in the Discord. So I don't know if you're aware of this. I have a thread in the Discord that says my guest, and then I drop your YouTube link, and then I put all your links in there for people on my Discord to go to your social media and follow you and support you and your merchandise. And then I also added a tab that says for my people in the Discord that this episode is going to be recorded this day. Put your questions in that people want to ask. So I'm going to ask my question quick. I'm going to I'm going to go to the Discord thread that was there and get those questions, and then I'll get the live questions that are being watched now, and then we'll have some fun here. But Andre, who are some matches on the scene that you want that you haven't quite gotten yet?
That I haven't got. Okay, so there is this one young man that I met in New Jersey, but he's from North Carolina. His name is Jackson Drake, and he's phenomenal. We were just like training a little bit. He's one of Colby's students from North Carolina, and this is one of the person that you said he is special. There's something about him, and just by us like training a little bit, I was like, I want to have like a match. If you guys don't know him, he's unbelievable.
So you kind of worked Trotsky's trained kids because you come from Trotsky, that at the background. You worked Walker's trained kids with Ahmed and PJ. Now you want one of Colby's kids that has been trained. I see what you're doing there. I like that. That's a good bit.
I never saw it like that, but
I put
yes,
two and two together. That's why I'm commentary, baby. I tell stories.
Oh my god! But yeah, I wanna work him from New Jersey, Nicola White. He's one that I would like to have a one-on-one, just to see what can we do. I don't know.
Have you ever worked Philly Mike 1-on-1?
No, and I've been pitching that idea for quite some time, and I'm like, man,
Interesting.
I'm sad that he hurt himself. It was his ankle, wasn't it?
His knee.
Oh, his knee.
Yeah.
I'm sad that happened. I wish you're doing good, my friend. Please
He's close. He's
recover.
getting close.
Please come back. I want to have a one-on-one with you, and he knows that. Like we have talked about that a couple times in the
Yeah.
sanctuary.
So the first question I have here is, what is it like working under John Trotsky's guidance at the sanctuary?
Um, it can
From
be a
Hunter
little.
Dillon. That was a Hunter Dillon question.
Okay, thank you,
My
Hunter.
logo guy. He's the guy that does all my cool logos.
Ooh. Hmm. But okay.
Hit him
How
up.
is it? Um, that's why I did it. Okay, buddy. I got your name now. But yeah. How is it to be under like Trotsky's wing? One of the things that you may need is to know is okay. He's gonna hurt you in a way or the other, and but it's for your own good. Like having sometimes a trainer, it's having somebody that it's capable of like telling you the truth of, hey, you suck at doing this, please improve. And that was pretty much a lot of what Trusky did. And not only him, Colby did as well, and Walker will literally show me with his arms like you need to improve on doing this. And with Trusky, it's a lot of tough love will be the word. It's
Yes.
like it will be okay. I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna show you. And by a man who's 40 years old with a blown knee and a broken arm and a broken back, he was unbelievably athletic, and he helped me a lot with some of my high flying work. People believe it or not.
Wow.
Um, yes, yes. But yes, working with Trotsky is like that. Is working your improvement, work on yourself, work on your character, work on your promos. Like I can cut promos. I just don't do them at all
You're the
unless it requires.
you're the psycho killer. You don't need to talk.
I do outside of Sanctuary. I do. Tr- Trust me, I do. But but
uh,
yeah, but yes, and not only that, a lot of things with Trotsky, at least when he's working on me, is okay. You gotta explore like your creative areas and let them out, let them out, express yourself, and be as much as a character as you can be. Like be extra as that
yeah.
expression exists.
And Steven in the chat says on the Discord, what got you into wrestling? Well,
Um, what got me?
I know we kind of talked about that a little bit in the beginning. That would have been, watching the Kane spot, right?
Which it was terrifying, but it was fascinating as well. Okay, Kane got me, got my attention, but Jeff Hardy, Shawn Michaels, and RVD did a lot for me, and Rey Mysterio, of course. Like those will be the guys that I will be looking at. that they will blow my mind. And if watch me how I wrestle sometimes, you can see that there's a little bit of all those guys that I mentioned in one way or the other. Like those are the guys that, okay, they keep they keep me into the wrestling aspect of professional wrestling.
Hmm. Yeah. And then the question that we have live right now is, who would you say has impressed you the most since you stepped foot in the sanctuary?
That has impressed me the most. It depends, since like there are so many talented people in the sanctuary. Actually,
It's hard to pick. It really
it's
is.
hard. It's really hard to pick. But let me give you four names that they are like always with me. Um, John Schultz. If you guys, I have seen John Schultz from day one to where he is right now, and
He's a
it's
different human.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the crazy thing is like um people don't actually know how good he is. Not only, okay, everybody knows he's a great character, he can perform and all that. If you ever had a freestyle match with him, just go. Just a go with him. If you ever have the chance to train and just go, it will blow your mind. So, J.S. Hawthorne, as you guys mostly know him, that's he's one of my picks. Always, always. Um, Prince Ahmed, who is an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable person, a great, beautiful human being, even greatest wrestler. I That's two of the persons that I can mention right now. Uh, from Sanctuary, one of our students. This one is a little bit like this one. It's tough because man, I love Precious. I love Precious to death, mostly as what he presents to the audience, how he presents himself, and I love, like, at least when I see him, he has like this shine around him that he says something. He's like, I'm here to either make you laugh, make you have the time of your life, or oh boy, you'll be creep out. And Vince Torres, who is such an underrated talent. People have no idea. They have no idea. Like, I don't want to say this because I train with them, but I want to say this because I train with them.
Well, here's what I will say, right? So there's a perception outside of the sanctuary walls when it comes to the world of independent wrestling, right? Of what sanctuary kids are. And I think the first person to really break that is Schultz, right?
Mhm.
Where Schultz came out of the sanctuary and was like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? And then you came out of the sanctuary and performed at the Legends of Hamburg the first year. And in my opinion, you and Schultz stole the show. I think both of you had match of the night. And if people started buzzing, and you're like, wait a second, these kids are coming out of this place that's stunt fighting, and they're putting some shit together here. And then you're kind of more reserved. You're not really out there on the scene as much, but Schultz is. And now some more people are saying, well, how can we get these sanctuary kids in other places? And they want them. But here's one thing I'm going to tell you right now when it comes to these sanctuary kids. And I didn't know this until this year of my 3 years, 2 years being there, 3 years. These kids are not, when I say shoot wrestling, they're shoot wrestling. You guys go in there and lock the hell up with each other and get physical. And here's the deal. If you think that kids that train at the sanctuary are going to be pushovers, bro, you're in for a treat, because I watched you and Vince shoot wrestle, and Vince had you in a pretty rough position, and you didn't want to admit it right
Yes.
then and there, but you were
Oh
in
no.
trouble.
I was, but oh my god,
But
this is
here's the thing: you guys broke apart, and Trotsky seen that, like, there was tension, but it was healthy tension. It was healthy, like it was, but the competitiveness is there. And here's the thing: you guys you're taught how to act, you're taught how to perform, you're taught how to put a crazy thing on. But if you guys leave the sanctuary and someone decides they're going to be tough because you're just wrestling some stun fighter, you're in for a fucking day. Because these boys that come out of that church are no joke. They're legit. They're psycho killers. Yeah, I'm telling the secrets.
Yeah.
But no, what I want to say is, I watched Vince do that with Schultz. I watched Vince do that with you. I watched Vince do that with Trotsky. That kid's heart and his determination, and he's a tough kid, man. Don't let that perceive you. That kid's a tough kid. I'm proud of him. He's come such a long way. Like, he's the one I've came in from the day of my sanctuary. I watched him become Vince the student, Vince the ref, Vince the joke, to now Vince the spotlight champion. And that kid has earned every second of that.
And oh my god. It's, once again, I already said it, very underrated. He is at the spot that he wants to be right now, and I really respect that. But if he ever decides to just go out and give it a try, like he always surprise people. We did a tryout in New Jersey, and a couple of the guys, they were just saying, "Oh man, like I had no idea you were able to actually perform and to promo the way he did that day." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." But
don't be sleeping on our church. We work hard here.
No, don't. Yeah, please don't. Like, if you are from the Pennsylvania area, don't sleep on any of the sanctuary kids, any of the sanctuary students.
Yeah, and we're putting it out there, man. People are coming. They're supporting. They're watching live. They're coming to the venue. We're starting to feel some people in there. That is definitely trending in the right direction, and I'm very proud to be a part of that team and to watch you guys work so hard.
No, like, thank you for that, but I thank you a lot for all the work that you have put into our project and all the passion that you actually have. Like, I haven't seen anybody doing, like, having the interactions that you actually have with the crowd, with the commentary. You brought the people from your own Discord, from your own community into our community, and I am very grateful for the fact that you have been always there for us. And thank you so much, Anthony.
Listen, it's where I would call home. It's the promotion that made me feel very welcomed from the day I was there. And listen, I got a lot of heat for being a sanctuary kid. You know what I mean? It's cost me a lot in this business, but at the end of the day, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm very thankful that you guys see the value in me and let me spread my wings. But before we get out of here, Andry, anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to get out there?
Okay, there's a couple things that I would like. First of all, follow the Sanctuary/TV. Follow me on social media, Andry Paulino, and please keep supporting Sanctuary, keep supporting the ABJ podcast, keep supporting Anthony Blackwell Jr. And I don't want to say that this is a wrap, but thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this podcast. I'm really sorry for the struggle that is to listen to a conversation of me. Trust me, it's
you did amazing. You did so good. You did so good. No. I do have one last question. This is a sponsored question. And this is the new, I'm going to end every podcast this way. This is sponsored by Logos by Hunter. So go support Logos by Hunter on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of my logos, the logos you see, there's a lot of variety of different people have done my logos. But if you look at all my logo spoofs of whether it be the wrestling logo spoofs or like the ABJ ones, like the one you see, the circle, that's been done by Haley Stokes. But a lot of the newer ones that have been pumping out like crazy have all been Hunter. He knows that I've been struggling when it comes to financially with no job, nothing. And he's just trying to help me get merchandise out that people may or may not buy. Spoiler alert, not a lot of people buying it. But he's been there to help. And he has a trademark question, and this is sponsored by Logos by Hunter. If you could write a letter to a younger Andry Paulino, what would that letter say?
Oh my God. Why that question?
It's a
If
deep
I
one.
can, it is a really deep one. So, I never thought in my life that I will be doing professional wrestling, that I will be performing, that I will be traveling, that I will be doing all the things that I'll do. So I will tell to that kid to please keep believing in yourself and don't drop parkour. I should have stayed doing parkour when I was a teenager. Andry, little Andry, keep doing parkour and karate. You will thank me later.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you, Andre, so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Thursday on the next episode of the ABJ podcast. Make sure you check out the links below to support ABJ. Like I said, merch, Patreon. If you want to see this episode early, this episode dropped early on the podcast on the Discord live, and it dropped early on Monday in the Patreon. So head over to the Patreon. You can come in early as $1. $1 gets you in the door. Patreon. You can do whatever dollar amount you want, but we're now adding the bonus content. So this episode has been pre-recorded. You can watch it live in the Discord, or you can go and check out the Patreon and see it 3 or 4 days early before it drops on Thursday. We'll see you next Thursday for the next episode of the ABJ podcast. And here's some music by the Converse Kid, Billy Trey, and we'll see you next time.